My name is Anna Bortasova. I'm the FIDE press officer for this event, for the FIDE Candidates Tournament 2024. I'm happy to see all of you here. It's great that you arrived. It's great that you are here in the One Hotel Toronto, the great sustainable hub that welcomed us. And before we start with the press conference, I want to give the floor to One Hotel Director of Sales and Marketing, George Sovatsis. Please.
I am the Director of Sales and Marketing. It is my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to One Hotel Toronto for the 2024 FIDE Candidates Tournament, ultimately determining who will go on to compete for the title of World Chess Champion. While we know this promises to be a highly competitive tournament, we at One Hotel Toronto are honored to be part of this competition for its North American debut. We wish all the competitors the best of luck and look forward to seeing you all again for the closing ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. A couple of housekeeping rules. So I will first ask a few questions myself to our guests, and then I will give the floor to you. So please, whoever wants to ask the question, raise your hand. I will address you, and then there will be a volunteer giving you the microphone. So please only speak into the microphone so our video crew can catch all the sound. Today, I'm happy and privileged to have with me at this presidium the FIDE CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Emil Sutovsky, the President of the Chess Federation of Canada, Vladimir Durkulich, the rating favorite of the FIDE candidates, Fabiano Caruana, and Vishali, the participant of the Women's Candidates Tournament. I think they deserve a round of applause. The first question I want to ask is addressed to Emil. So this is the first tournament, the first candidates tournament in North America. So how did FIDE choose Toronto as the host city for this event?
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, really good first question. You know, we as FIDE always try to have events in various parts of the world, and notably North America didn't have many competitions of such a level, official competitions in part of World Championship cycle. And obviously we were concerned about this situation, and when reviewing the options, this idea to bring an event to Canada, to Toronto, came up quite quickly. We know about the boom, chess boom in the country, many young players emerging, a lot of chess fans, and we know that already the number of fans who will be visiting the playing venues is huge. And then, of course, not least important, we had the support of Scheibling family, who supported the idea to stage it here in Canada, and we had the support of Chess Federation of Canada to run the event here. So it was, all in all, quite a logical choice. To remind you, in 2022, we had an event in Madrid. So moving from Europe to North America was quite a logical step. And judging by the feedback we are getting, by the public interest, by the media interest, by the government interest, we can say that it was a correct decision, and we're just looking forward to a great event here.
Thank you, Emil. Vlad, how did the local community, the local chess community, take the news that such a great tournament is coming to Toronto?
Well, everyone is quite excited, and we also had the adventure of having to mobilize our entire community to get the visas. So I've never known that members of our community, chess parents, former chess players, current chess players, know so many people, because we wound up connecting with probably about 14 members of parliament and 4 ministers and anyway, it was amazing to be able to mobilize that level of support for the tournament, and it worked. So we got the visas that we needed.
Thank you, Vlad. Fabiano, you're the rating favorite of the event. So does it impose some additional pressure on you?
I don't think so. I mean, the ratings are very close, and also, even if the ratings are a bit different, we understand the level that all the players here are capable of. They've shown it. That, of course, it's not a question of what the players are capable of, but we know that everyone here can potentially win the tournament, but will they bring their best game? So it has nothing really to do with the numbers. Of course, numbers do say something about past performances and the general quality of a player, but you know, I think it would be a mistake for any player to take anyone else lightly here.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think this tournament represents a shift of generations that we are experiencing now in chess. We have a lot of new young players that come at this very top level. Vishali, you are playing at the Canadian tournament for the first time. So how do you feel about it? What are your emotions right now?
I'm very happy to be here, actually. Also, for the first time, we have men and women candidates together. It's just awesome. Can follow that as well, and I'm very excited for the event. Yeah.
All right. Do you have some questions for our guests? Okay. While you're thinking about your questions, formulating them, I will address the audience a little bit in a bit again. Then I'll ask another question myself. Emil, could you tell a little bit about how the players qualified for this event? Because there was excruciating qualifying process for every player. Like this is the best of the best who came through a lot to get here. So could you please expand on this a little bit?
Yeah, the candidates is an event where players have to qualify through various paths, and it could take up to 1.5 years to qualify. And indeed, the World Cup, the Grand Swiss, the Grand Prix events were all determining players to qualify for candidates, both in men and in open and women's. I think the candidates have a special story and history behind it. From the very first candidate in 1950, it emerged as an absolute top event where it was unquestionable event of the, not only event of the year, event of 2 years, or previously event of the 3 years, because there was a 3-year cycle. And for many players, it was a pinnacle of their career. Even the most fantastic players, the pinnacle of their careers that they managed to qualify to candidates. So it always had special meaning for players. And now we see here indeed a generation who is 30 plus and a generation who is 20 plus or around 20. And that would be, for the first time, it is the youngest ever candidate. It's the first time where men and women would be playing at the same venue. And I'm personally very, very excited, both as chess player myself, not very active anymore, but still, and also as FIDE CEO, because I think we are moving into the right direction by exposing the world of chess in so attractive way.
So indeed, this tournament is a tournament of many first times. First time in Canada, first time the FIDE Candidates Tournament and Women's Candidates Tournaments are played together in the same venue, on the same roof. And this is the first time in history when a brother and a sister will play alongside in the Candidates Tournament. So Vishali is the sister of Pragnananda, who we call in the chess world shorter, Prag, who is playing in the Candidates Tournament. So Vishali, it's a family affair for you. So you also have your mother here with you. So how do you feel about how is the support of family is important? And do you support each other during the event in the chess sense? Do you help with chess?
Yeah, very much. Like, we discuss a lot about the game. He helps me a lot during preparations, and We have our mother. She most of the time she accompanies us through the tournaments. Family support is really important. I think it's our biggest strength for both me and Prag. Yeah.
Oh, Mike, please go ahead. You need a microphone, so just wait for it. Sure.
My question is for Grandmaster Vaishali. Have you ever had a moment where both you and your brother had a novelty and you had to argue about who got to use it?
Yeah, I tried to steal his ideas, but okay, we never had such an argument, but yeah. Yes.
More questions? Yes, please, but just wait for a microphone. And if you could first name yourself, please.
My name is William Savard. The question is for Grandmaster Caruana. In several European and Asian countries, chess are well established or incremented in their culture. As one of the two players coming from America, what do you think do we need to do to make chess more popular or more in our culture?
That's an interesting question. I mean, the United States does have a strong history of chess, of course. We had many of the strongest players in the world going back to the 1930s. And of course, we had one of the greatest world champions, Bobby Fischer. And perhaps the country didn't capitalize on Fischer's success in the best possible way and grow chess the way it perhaps could have. But if we look at the progress in the last, let's say, 20 years, then I think there has been a very significant move, both in terms of bringing chess to schools, to kids, and we see a lot of like the really best young players in the world are coming from, some of them are coming from the United States as well, and also supporting professional chess players. I think the US has done a very good job with that as well. So I think there's good progress. It might take time because the culture is not quite the same as in some other countries. There's more emphasis on other sports in the United States. It still might take a long time, and perhaps chess will never be at the same level as, so let's say, baseball or basketball in the United States, but we are making progress, and I hope, and I do think that will continue.
Thanks a lot.
Anybody else with the questions? Sagar, no questions?
My question is to Fabiano. Few seconds have been revealed in this event. Could you reveal your seconds, and were you surprised by any other seconds that were revealed here?
Well, mine are not a huge secret. I'm here with Grigory Oparin and Christian Kirilla. I mean, it's obviously not a secret because they've been in public, and also because we've worked together in the past. And from other players, well, I also don't want to say because I've seen people around, but I don't know if it's like public information, so I don't know if I should say what I've seen around, but nothing hugely surprising from what I've seen. And everyone is bringing a serious team. That's to be expected. You know, this is the most important tournament for all the players who are playing here in this year, unless they qualify for the match, in which case that will be the most important. But for now, everyone is taking it super seriously, for sure, and bringing the best support they can.
Thank you.
Vladimir, when will we have the Canadian player playing in the candidates?
I don't know. There's a few here that maybe will, at some point, improve to the point where they can get there. We had one that was quite strong, but unfortunately, there's a matter of some shorts that that most people don't know what I'm talking about. But,
Okay, I hope sometime soon. We have quite a lot of young, talented players, like Sean, for example, who you will see at the opening ceremony, and many others. So, yeah, there is progress. There is progress in this regard. Any more questions from the journalist? Mike, okay, please.
Mike Klein with chess.com. My question is for Emil. We know about what we saw on social media, but how close was this tournament really to getting moved to Spain? Were you within days or hours? Was it that close?
Yeah, days, definitely days. But we would never know how close because this was resolved, you know. But it was as close as every single player would get a visa. I mean, that was very simple. As long as all players were cleared, we went. And but it really took an effort, and once again, thanks to Vlad, but also thanks to community, to Canadian chess community. We also, as FIDE, undertook many efforts, knocked many doors, and I personally spoke to basically nearly every top executive who was in charge of the situation, and finally it resolved.
I have another question to Fabiano. Usually to play in the tournaments of this level, you have to cross the Atlantic and change a lot of time zones. Now you're playing practically on the home turf, like very close to home. Will it be some kind of advantage for you? How do you look at it?
I don't think it's a real advantage because the players who have a serious time change will have probably come several days in advance and are probably adjusted by now. And yeah, in the past, like first candidates I played was in Moscow. It was quite a serious time change. But you know, you get there a few days in advance. Eventually, you acclimatize to the time zone. But yeah, this is the least I've ever had to adjust, let's say. Although Madrid last time, I also was there quite a bit in advance with family. And so I would have to say that wasn't much of an adjustment either for me.
Okay. Yes, please.
Ulrich Stock from German newspaper Die Zeit. Could you tell about the pre-sales of the tickets for the venue? Is there a huge interest?
Yeah, I can actually answer this question myself. There is quite a huge interest for the tickets. We are already about 70% sold from all the tickets available for the event, and some days are completely sold out. So if you wanted to get a ticket as a spectator for the last couple of days, you might be already late. But there are still many available for the other days. And for the spectators this time, we created a system which is connected to the fair play measures a lot, is that the spectators will be allowed to the playing hall into 3 time slots. So whenever a spectator gets a ticket, he chooses the time slot when he or she can enter the playing hall and watch the players from the balcony. And only this time slot will be available to enter the playing hall. So all the tickets are also divided by the slots. So we have a lot of them, actually. But even from this huge pile, already about 70% are sold. So we expect a lot of attention. We expect a lot of spectators. And we hope that we will be able to bring the best possible experience to them. There will be a fan zone at the playing venue, which is underneath the playing hall, but no sound will pass. We checked that for sure. And 2 local stars, known streamers from Chess Pro channel. Yeah, they will be there as hosts. So I think all the fans will be very happy to see them and to interact with them and with the players too.
How many spectators get in the playing hall at the same time?
About 70, plus this is from the general admission, plus the VIP admission about 30. So about 100 people at once.
And in the fan zone?
In the fan zone altogether. So yeah, basically people can stay in the fan zone the whole day. If you have a ticket, you stay in the fan zone the whole day. You enjoy the fan zone, all the activities there. Then once you have your slot, you go to watch the games in the playing hall. But then you can come back to the fan zone and have fun there. And it accommodates up to 300 people. So yeah, that's more than enough space for everyone.
Question is for Fabiano. You've played a lot of these. You've won one. You've had some times where you've led and then fell off. So you've had the whole range of emotions at these. What have you learned from the previous candidates that you're going to change for this one?
Yeah, the previous candidates, I think I could have learned a lot from what I did there. There was a lot definitely to regret in terms of my play and my approach. I mean, we will see how this tournament goes because I think it's easy to give advice and it's much harder to actually follow it. Like it's easy to know what to do in theory, but then you get into the games and things happen in real time and you don't always know if you're going to be able to react well in the moment. So we'll see how that works out for everyone. In terms of pressure, I think that's the most important thing to be able to handle. The pressure, and experience doesn't necessarily help with that. You can be experienced and also succumb to pressure. So I guess we'll see. I think that I've learned some things in the past which will help me, but it's really too early to say.
Any more questions? Yes, please. John?
Question for Vaishali. Is this working? How long before a game do you shut off your computer and stop doing preparation?
It depends. Yeah, sometimes I just keep preparing until I leave for the game, but sometimes I just don't prepare at all. So it depends.
Is that true for your brother too?
Yeah, sometimes, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so no 10-minute walk to clear your head and get fresh and anything like that? Or sometimes you might just keep cramming to the very last second?
Yeah, it depends. Like, if we are tense, we just want to get out of the room and go for a short walk. But yeah, it really depends before the game how we feel. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I think William had another question. Yeah, yes, please.
Yes, William Savard from L'Intermédiaire Podcast d'Échecs again. My question is for Grandmaster Vaishali. Chess in India is insanely popular. Has it reached its full extent yet, or it is only the tip of the iceberg?
Oh, sorry, can you repeat?
Yes, chess in India is now very popular thanks to you and all other Indians practicing it. Do you think that chess can be more popular, or is it only the beginning of the popularity of chess in India?
Yeah, in India it has grown a lot, especially like after pandemic, we have a like chess boom. Yeah, it has grown a lot in the recent years, but I think probably we are somewhere in the beginning. I think still we have a lot more to, yeah.
It will probably depend on the result of this event.
And last question. You talk about your brother that he give you some tips. I'm sorry. I apologize again for my English. It's not quite good. But you talk with your brother. He give you tips. Is it the same thing between all Indian players and the candidate? Do you talk all to each other? Do you help each other's out?
Yeah, for me, like he's always there to discuss about the game. He's very passionate about the game, so I always discuss about. And also for the candidates, I've discussed about like for every game, and yeah, it's just like we do for any other tournament also.
Yeah, but what about the other Indian players? Do you help each other, all the Indian players that are here at the event, not just your brother? Like the other Indian players, not just your brother. Do you help each other? Do you prepare together?
Who are here, the Indian players?
Yeah, like here, for example, or other tournaments.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you. Have a nice tournament.
Do we have any more questions? Maybe from this side for a change. We have all the questions from this side of the audience. Maybe somebody from this side wants to ask something. Yes, please.
Thorsten Smiel from ChessBase. I have two questions.
Okay,
Is it allowed?
yeah, go ahead.
One question is, there are the prices. Can you tell us a little bit about it? I like it a lot because it's small and not the big ones. So
Actually, these prizes have a very interesting history because we are here in one hotel, which prides itself in being sustainable. So whatever you see around, it's it's a lot of connection to nature. So there are a lot of reclaimed trees that are used for the furniture here at the hotel. And if you look closely, you can see that at the tables, for example, you can even see the coordinates from where this tree was taken in Toronto or Great Toronto area. So, so there is a company that is producing these amazing masterpieces. And these trophies here are also produced by the same company. And they are actually, they're made from wood. They are made from reclaimed Toronto trees. So whoever gets these trophies back home, they will take a part of Toronto back home with them. So yeah, so it's a great question. Thank you for asking, because these trophies are indeed very unique. Any more questions? I think it would be the last question from Mike, and then if there are no questions more, then we will finish with that.
I thought I was helping, but fair enough. My final question is for Fabiano. As we know, it's not enough to be a Super Grandmaster these days. You also have to be a content creator, and you are now one. I don't know how much you enjoy these press conferences, but you seem to enjoy doing your podcast. So what do you get out of that podcast? Why do you think you enjoy it so much? Is it just an outlet to be able to express your true self, or is it something else?
Yeah, I didn't think I would really be into it at the start. Christian sort of convinced me, and I was bored. That's basically the origin of it. And yeah, it's been fun at times. It's also sometimes a challenge, because you don't want to, let's say, share too much about yourself when it comes to being a chess player as well. And there is definitely a tendency, once you start to talk too much. So yeah, that's what I learned from doing this podcast with Christian, that although I generally don't talk too much, once I get into the mode of talking during a podcast, I definitely can talk way too much. And yeah, we've touched on some controversial topics recently. So that was also something I had to step away from a little bit, because it was getting me like a little bit emotional, I realized. Like in the last, let's say, 4 or 5 months. And okay, recently we've taken a bit of a break from it, just for this tournament. I mean, just from the beginning for training, and so I don't know when the last one we did was. Maybe it's been
3 weeks, I checked.
Okay, you know better than I do. And we probably will be laying a bit low during the event as well. But overall, it's been fun. It's been a fun experience, and we'll keep doing it and see how it goes.
Thank you, Fabiano. Thank you, Mike. Do we have any more questions? Okay, let's get one from John.
Question for Anna. This is actually for you.
Okay.
Have the organizers arranged anything for players to be able to go out and see the eclipse? Maybe a boat trip out into the lake, because it's totality, and this is the kind of thing that doesn't happen.
Actually, yes. There is a trip to the lake. Exactly that. The trip to the lake is being organized on a boat. Yes. So we hope that we understand if players wouldn't want to join, because they are in the middle of a very important tournament. So we are not definitely not forcing anyone. But we also hope that as many players as they want, they will join us, because indeed there will be a unique event happening on the 8th of April. This is our first free day of the tournament. There will be a total solar eclipse, which all of you can see here in Toronto.
No, not 99% in Toronto.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
No, they sound close.
Somebody misinformed me.
But they're completely different. You have to go out into the lake. That's the closest place to get 100%.
All right. So yeah. So okay, 99. It's close enough. No, not 9.
1% of the sun is too bright to look at.
Yeah, but you have special glasses normally for that.
It's not the same.
It's like almost checkmate and checkmate.
Yeah.
Okay, is it according to the engine, is it +4 solar eclipse? +5? The
no,
chess player, just chess nerds will understand the joke.
+0.8.
I see. Well, still, yeah, you can get to a winning position from that. So yeah, a trip to the lake. We hope that a lot of players will join us. We'll watch the eclipse. Original plan was to go to Niagara Falls, but Niagara Falls will be so crowded. I don't recommend anyone going there on that day, because they already declared a state of emergency even before the date, because they anticipate incredible number of visitors. Yeah, thank you for the question. Any more questions? Yes, please.
Maybe a serious question in the end. What about the money? Where does the money come from, and is it more difficult or easier than in former years to get money for chess?
I think this question definitely goes to Emil.
Yes.
Well, if we talk about general sources and prizes, I think in recent years FIDE has been quite successful in having higher prize funds. in almost every of our events. It started from 2019 and started moving the World Championship match, the Women's World Championship match, Grand Swiss, Grand Prix for Women's Series, World Cup. Everywhere the price have risen. In this event, as you see, the main sponsors are Scheinbeck family. They have been backing chess for already several years, and we're really thankful to their support. It has been a joint ride starting 2019, so it's already 5 years, Mark, which we passed together. We also have obviously other sponsors for other events, and we have some of them are lasting sponsors, which we have agreements throughout the years, like in recent case with Freedom Finance, for example. We also have been starting 2020 monetizing on selling broadcasting rights. As you know, this represents an important part of FIDE revenues, and we have several agreements to that effect. Typically, these are the sources, and we also have sometimes major projects which are backed by governments, like the Chess Olympiad, which we're going to have in Hungary this year, and in Budapest, and this is a very costly event, which with an overall budget over 15 million euro, and it is nearly entirely provided by the Hungarian government. So the funding can be different. It can be from sponsors, it can be from donors like a Scheinbeck family, it can be governmental support, it can be leasing or selling broadcasting rights. All these are important and instrumental in FIDE's eternal quest to raise prize funds, to improve conditions for players, and I think we have been quite successful, but we do not plan to stop. We think that we need to keep increasing the level of prizes in competitions, and I think we will, not only we plan, but we will do so also with every coming year.
Thank you, Emil. I think we can have one last question, if anybody has it. Okay, no questions anymore. Thank you very much for being here for this press conference. I will see you all in the media center of the tournament. And for now, we close the press conference. Thank you and enjoy your evening.